Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we have my co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
And
Hi, Kelly.
we have
Hi.
And we have my co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Barbara.
Barbara.
Hi.
Barbara, you had said something about some ideas that you had. You said that you had some ideas about topics that we could talk about on the show. Is that right?
Well, yes, I was thinking when we do not have Chakra Day or Psychic Day that we could pick a topic because they're endless with this kind of subject matter. And then if somebody is interested in that, they'll know ahead of time that they will be able to call in to talk about that one topic. Like the last week we had the topic of ghosts when I had that ghost sighting. And I said, well,
Right.
let's try to, pick a topic on these days and promote it. So then, lo and behold, Kelly said, well, I have some ideas. I would like to create a list of topics. Isn't that funny, Kelly? We are always thinking alike. And, oh, good. So we're always on the same page, it seems like. So now she wants to elaborate on more ideas along those lines. So we're excited to talk about it and hear other ideas that she has. So do you want to tell us, Kelly?
Yeah, thank you. We can do things like talk about our personal hopes and dreams, or talk about ways that we'd like to help the world with their show. We can talk about, just different things that we'd like to be involved in or that we are involved in, or some things that, that are dear to us that maybe people don't know about, or that they can call in and elaborate on what they do, maybe hobbies or like nonprofit things or volunteer work, that kind of thing. So,
and then we can tie it in somehow with spirituality, because everything is connected to spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, and, just like the power of positive thinking, things that when you're praying a lot and you're manifesting in that way and you're visualizing, so, yeah.
And also scientists, because I've been wanting to reach out to different scientists and ask them more in-depth questions about what is actually going on with our body physiologically in our brain, or how are we stimulating ourselves in a deeper level to discuss what's actually going on. Because, when you stimulate your brain, you're releasing certain endorphins and chemicals, natural chemicals. And sometimes people just love the proof of that. Then it gives them more of a foundation to want to do it and a reason why. A lot of people do think like that. They're not just, oh, it feels good, so I'm going to do it. They want to know why, what really is going on with my brain and my body when I'm doing these kinds of things like meditation and manifesting, and, what are the complete, real scientific benefits of it?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to ask
you,
Barbara, Chris Newland said that he'd be willing to do, I believe it was the 16th, and would you be willing to do a show that, because we do 11 a.m., that would be 8 a.m. for you. Are you okay with doing that?
Oh, yes, and I did actually pencil that in. So that okay, you just wanted to check and before you completely confirmed with him?
Yeah, well, he I think he confirmed. So I'll just go ahead and schedule it for this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, which will be 8 a.m. your time. Okay.
Okay, great. I remember one time when we had to go around his schedule, which is great because he's a professor and he is super busy.
Right.
But I remember we did a show and it was like 6 a.m. my time, and I did it, and it was well worth it. He is extremely interesting, knowledgeable, and has something very important to say. So everybody put that in your calendar. It's not going to be our regular show time, obviously. So we're going to have to let you know ahead of time to listen in. Are we going to be having callers with Chris?
I suppose we could, but we would have to make a big deal about advertising it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did
okay,
you say
great.
the 16th?
Yes.
Okay, because Jonathan said Saturday the 16th, but the 16th is Friday.
Jonathan?
Yeah,
is
16th. Yeah. Yes.
it,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's the
Friday.
16th
Okay,
is
so
Friday.
it is
Yeah.
Friday. Okay.
You okay with that?
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Now, I'm not going to create a
great.
description. I also just let you know I also booked 19 till 9, and but I haven't gotten any descriptions down for them because you know these people better than I do. Now, let's see here. Okay. That still leaves the 17th, the 24th in, we have the 17th, the 24th, and the 28th, and the 30th, and the 31st. I guess we could find chakra days for those things. Or, we've already interviewed each other. So, what are some
For Saturday?
you said hopes and dreams?
Okay. Hopes and dreams. Okay, Kelly, do you have a specific day that you wanted to do the topic shows?
Well, we could actually, do some of them, like, right now. We could ask, questions. I've got someone texting me, like, some questions that they have that they can't call in right now.
Okay.
Like, one of them is for Barbara. What is the most uncomfortable situation you've ever walked into?
Oh. Well, there's probably been many of those, but what really just popped into my mind was that my girlfriend's boyfriend, I walked into the room and I was going to the restroom. He had to go through his room to go to the restroom. And he was with my other best friend who is gay, and they were in the room in bed together. And that was pretty uncomfortable because I didn't even know that my friend's boyfriend was gay, or I guess that would be bisexual. And I have nothing against that, but I just thought that was, I think cheating is cheating, and I had to think, oh my gosh, just because somebody is gay doesn't mean that they can go take your boyfriend and do that with your boyfriend just because gay doesn't give you the free pass to doing that. And I think that a lot of times they think that, oh, they're different, so they're going to be different in every ways, and the rules don't apply to them. Sometimes I get that feeling, and they just think, oh, it's funny. But it's not funny. It's still hurtful. And it was really awkward for me because I had to figure out in my mind, what do I do? Do I pretend I didn't see that? They obviously knew I did. So it took me about a year, and then I decided I would tell her because I thought she deserved to know. I thought that was something that she really should know, and me as one of her best friends for many years. And she was very glad that I told her, and it was really uncomfortable that day to tell her, and it also was, she got really mad that I did, but do I have loyalty to him, somebody I just met, or her? I do to her. And what if that's dangerous for her too? We're talking about intimacies that could actually, create diseases if they're not using protection. So I felt like compelled to tell her, and I did. Now it's been years later, and it's crazy because we're all friends again, and everybody has forgiven each other. So wouldn't you think that that would be really awkward or uncomfortable to walk into?
Oh my gosh.
That'd be pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that for an answer, whoever called? Oh my gosh. You don't get much more awkward.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Awkward. I mean, what?
Am I what?
I was just wondering, are you okay with me scheduling a show for the 17th where we talk about our hopes and dreams this Saturday?
Oh gosh, yeah. I am.
Are you okay with that, Barbara?
I am. Yes, I am.
Very cool.
Great.
Okay, yeah. This will be fun. I'll pencil that in so that I have some ideas prepared. Yeah.
Give it some thought, right? So it's all three of us are hopes and dreams. So we're going to have to give that some thought. But I know that a lot of people know that we want our show to be successful, so that's like on the top of my list.
Mine too. Yeah. And I want to get through this health stuff and get into my best physical shape. So, gosh, that's going to be quite a transformation, but I have to get through this stuff first. But that is a hope and dream and goal. So,
there will have people calling in to help us with that and ideas, and which in turn will give everybody else ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty exciting. And, I mean, I would even be open to hypnosis or something. Right now it's frustrating being limited on what I can do, and looking at carpal tunnel surgery does not sound like a fun option because that's even more limiting for a while until it heals. But, I'm at that point where I can keep getting shots, or I can just get the surgery done once and be done with it. And
how long have you been getting the shots?
I've been getting them since the accident in February, so it's been almost every month. Now it's I was able to go 2 months, but now it's waking me up at night again. So, yeah, he said the next time it did that to call and we'll schedule a surgery instead. So it's looking like that point. And I'm like, no, I guess since the trip isn't looking like it's going to be happening overnight, the sooner probably the better so that I can be healed up for it when it does roll around. But, if I could put it off for a year, I would, and then maybe, everything would be all done before then, but, it's just one of those things where if it's interrupting my sleep, it's probably worth, getting it permanently fixed.
Did you say that you had a way to raise money for the photo shoot?
I'm working on an idea, and I don't know how well it will actually work, but I have a friend I don't know very well who can do a fundraiser with Swarovski crystal jewelry for us. I just, I don't know how. It's absolutely beautiful jewelry. And when I worked at Marshall Field, I used to sell it, and it's very good quality. But I don't know, how much we would sell to friends and family here on our site. So that's kind of debatable. I don't think it costs anything to do it, for us to do it. So it would be something to try. I don't know what the interest would be in it.
What is this exactly? I don't even know what you all are talking about.
Oh, it's you can have a Facebook party, or you can have like a catalog that people can look through and pick out what they'd like, and you make 20% towards your fundraiser. So, that's an option. Or it might just be easier and better for us to just raise the funds directly, because then all of it's going to us, to our Life Laughter Happiness Fund, and it's not, sharing with somebody else who's selling something, if that makes sense. So, obviously that would be a decision.
Yeah. I think that we could have a couple of different things written on the GoFundMe about starting off more exactly what the funds are going to. So then we could have a couple different pages on it. Since that one, it doesn't seem to be working. And unfortunately, it's
right
not.
now.
Well, or you
At
can
least
wait
right
3
now.
weeks and then see after that. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
we have
and
to
I'm
tell
going to
people
be
to
setting
tweet
up
it.
media.
We need to tell people to tweet the GoFundMe, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, especially people that have a lot of followers on Twitter or Instagram or whatever social media. If anybody can help us out by, spreading the word, even if each person donated $1, that would be $1 more than we had to start with, and we can reach more people. So,
yes.
Karen said that in the next few weeks, it would pick up. I called her the other day, and I was on the phone with her, and I asked her opinion, and she goes, "It'll pick up in a few weeks. The GoFundMe will pick up in a few weeks."
Okay, great. Why don't we tell the listeners right now what all of the funds are going to go towards? First and foremost, we decided that we all needed to get together for a photo shoot, which is very much needed for marketing. The marketing is used to expand out so everybody could get to know us better and listen to the show. Listeners create subscriptions on YouTube, which then we become bigger and bigger, and we can reach more people. And this is all to help people. So then we decided that since Kelly is driving, she was going to make use of all those hours driving from Michigan to California. And then along the way, do stories and promote Life, Laughter, Happiness along the way. Can you tell us exactly what you're going to do along the way with your stories and to help people along the way? Kelly, what were some of your ideas for that?
I think it'd be really cool to have a goal of at a certain time, meet at a certain place, have it posted so that our listeners and viewers can meet us there. And I'm saying us loosely because that would also be you guys, like on perhaps like a Blue Jeans. And then it would be a really cool way for people all over the world to see different parts of America that maybe they've never been to. And it would be a great way for people all across America to be able to get to know who we are and meet us and interact with us. So I think, that would be really awesome, to be able to do that and to be able to, road trip across America and literally shake hands with people who are listening, who are watching, and, to be able to do Blue Jeans video with the chat room and interactive, like, polling and things like that, that would be really great. Then we can all see each other, we can all interact, and, eventually we could end up going someplace, and, to, maybe, like, a place in Chicago where you have, you've seen like the TED Talks, or you've seen like things like that on YouTube, where they have like the media up where, you can actually talk and interact with people all over the world, and they don't have to be like in the room with you. And maybe we could do something like that at some point and have like audience participation, like, that are watching us like a regular show, on the big screen.
Actually,
are we going to set this up ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
actually,
so we're
I
going
was
to start
wanting another
scheduling
idea.
media spots. Go ahead. I'm
This
sorry to
could
interrupt
be
you,
a-
Johnny.
Sorry,
That's fine.
sorry about that.
Yeah, like all three of us are trying to say something. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just wondering what you guys are saying, because, unfortunately, we don't have, the body language cues to know when somebody's going to ask.
That's right.
Right. I think what happens is once we start getting people on the show who can market, like, for example, Kelly, Barbara's friends with Ron Jeremy, Devin DeVasquez, Ron Moss. I think those names are going to probably help the GoFundMe go forward. Am I right, Barbara?
Yeah, that's right. We'll have,
we
spread the word. Okay, here's my thing. When I had the GoFundMe, I would just go down my whole address book, like take a whole hour out of my day and just do that. And then I would just post it on everybody's timeline. You don't have to ask people. And once in a blue moon, I'd run across somebody who has it in their settings to where they don't accept people's posts on their own timeline, but very rarely. I would just go down and I'd just post that on everybody's timeline, and then it'd be there. I'd just do that like once a week. People were glad that they didn't have to, go do it themselves. It was just done. So have you guys done that yet?
When was the last time that you, when was the last time you talked to Ron Jeremy?
Last week, as you know, I talked to him to schedule him. So he says he will come on the show soon.
Cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And
we have like a
Ron
celebrity
Moss.
next week, this week too. We have a celebrity. We have the NFL great Nick the Kick coming on next Thursday. Usually every week we have a nice celebrity on, but I think that you're right. Everybody does love Ron Jeremy, and I just happen to have an ex-boyfriend who was best friends with him. And so, yeah, he's a really nice guy, but he was booked when I asked him. And then you're asking about Ron Moss. Well, Ron Moss, who I introduced Deb and my girlfriend to him, and they got married. So, they're happy to come on, but they said not until October, until they're back in town. But when I put this on YouTube and I sent it to Devin, she's like, "This is so cool." Well, it was also cool 3 months ago when I started, or 4 months ago when I started, but it's more cool somehow now that it's on YouTube. So that's a plus for us. And
she's
I don't
happy
know why
now that it's
people
on
who are out of
YouTube?
town think that they need to be in town because they can call via WhatsApp for free.
Same thing with Julie McCullough. Yeah.
Yeah, they think they're traveling, so
McCullough.
they can't make a phone call. This is just a matter of a phone call.
I
Very
always,
cool.
when I describe the show to people, I always tell people that it's, the interview will be done by phone, so you don't have to travel anywhere.
That's what I say too. And some people have it in their minds that they don't want to make a phone call from Europe or something, and I do all the time, but I had a best friend from Germany, so I just got on WhatsApp, and calls are free anywhere. There's nothing special you have to do. You just go through WhatsApp, put their phone number in that. They have to accept WhatsApp on their side, and then just make the phone call like normal. And it's free, and text is free too. So I'm not really sure why, but, all I can do is ask and tell them exactly what you just said. I said you can do it from anywhere. You can call, as long as you have a phone with you, you can call from anywhere. I'm waiting for
I
that
actually
to
thought
happen, and you're going to have to wait.
I thought about an idea. This would be something you could do, Barbara. There's this robot called Sophia And I always thought, would it be great if you got the robot on the show on Blue Jeans?
Yeah. Where's Sophia coming from?
Well, she lives in the robot is in Tokyo, and
Wow.
but and I know that like when you tell I was talking to you earlier about having a show where it's 5 centerfolds and a psychic. That's what I thought about because I have a lot of questions. I have some questions I'd like to ask 5 playmates. Like one is, why is it that how did they get Marilyn Monroe to do Playboy if Playboy didn't exist before her? I know that when you did Playboy, that there was at least.
But she never was asked to do Playboy. She never was asked to do Playboy. She did that stock photo that was nude, and Hugh Hefner bought it for $300 and published it. She never had to be even asked anything.
Oh. Okay.
You're so funny.
Did another let me ask you this, did another Playmate inspire you to want to do Playboy?
No. You're going to have to go back and listen to our show about how I became a centerfold, and then you'll know that, no, they didn't. I didn't know any Playmates. Remember,
Okay.
I always wanted to be a Playmate,
all right,
and I
let me ask you
called
this.
up, I looked them up in the yellow pages.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah,
but
I
I guess
didn't
what I'm
know
trying to say is that. What?
Yeah, because she had seen the magazines when she was like 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
Johnny, did you mean did I have a favorite Playmate? No, I didn't. I didn't know. I just knew by the photos that I liked that I wanted to be one of them. I didn't know by name, oh, that person, oh, I want to be just like that one person, that single Playmate. I never, ever narrowed it down to anything like that, personally. And I don't really know that many Playmates did that either, because we were just very young girls who just wanted to be a part of Playboy, in Playboy. It was never, oh, I want to be like that certain centerfold, that certain Playmate. I've never even met somebody who said that.
Well, I know there are some ones that are really close friends with you. Like, I know that.
Well, yeah, they
Like
became
Elkie
friends
is a close
with
friend.
me after I met them, after I became a Playmate.
How'd you meet Elkie?
I called up Playboy Playmate Promotions, and I was looking for a roommate. Once I moved to Beverly Hills, I wanted to get a roommate to cut my costs in half, and somebody else was looking for a roommate named Elkie Yinson. So they put us together, and they, gave each other numbers, and then we called each other, and that's how we met. She came over, and she said, we will find an apartment today. And I said, no, it might take a week or two. Let's just look around. She's like, no, today. And she was just like really adamant about today. And we did. We found one that day, and it was perfect. And we lived together for 1 year, and then we went off to, I think she got Naraya Davis as her roommate. Naraya took my place, and then I got my own place again. So that's how you become really close with somebody, too. At a young age, you live with them, and then you really bond like that. I think that's how Elkie and I bonded so closely, is when we lived together.
I do know that Tommy Lee Jones and Tommy Lee Jones and Al Gore were roommates.
Did you say Tommy Lee Jones and who?
Al Gore.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are they close?
Yes. Tommy Lee Jones spoke to the Democratic National Convention, and I've heard that, you know who Yakov Smirnoff is?
Yeah.
He roomed with Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's true, isn't it? You get very bonded when you live with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, did
What's
you
it
ever
like
meet
when
him,
I really-
actually?
No, I have not met him. But you know what? I met Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh,
You know
wow.
who introduced me to him with my group of people? My dad, my uncle, my ex-boyfriend, Ron Jeremy. We were in Vegas with Ron Jeremy. He came with us, actually. And then Rodney Dangerfield was a really good friend of his. And so we went backstage and met him right before he died.
Oh, wow.
I heard
Yeah,
that
that was cool.
when Ronnie,
And you know who else?
I heard.
Kid Rock. We did the same thing with Ron Jeremy.
Wow.
He took us backstage to meet Kid Rock. Yeah, that was really cool, too. I loved him.
He's from Michigan.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Did you see that? I sent you that last night. I couldn't sleep, Kelly, and I sent you with that Jason, the actor of Aquaman. I
Oh,
sent you
yeah.
that clip of him on the late night talk show because I was watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm
oh,
a
Kelly
fan.
was like this. I'm like, oh, that guy's hot. That guy's so cute. I'm like, oh, that's Jason. Oh, my gosh. And, you know, I remembered we were talking about that. Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh.
And
it's
so I
funny.
sent
He
that
makes
to you.
Jimmy Fallon look so small.
I know. He looked so cute on the show, didn't he?
Yeah, they
He's
both
married
did.
to Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can
still
I
admire him, Johnny. We can still admire
What?
him, Johnny. We can
Yeah,
still admire
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't
And
have
actually,
that
one
list
thing
like
that I
they
heard-
did on Friends.
One
But
thing that I
Kelly,
heard about
you know
Ronnie
what?
Danger.
Oh, just
But-
one more thing before Rodney Dangerfield. Sorry. I saw on Jason, because I know that he's very spiritual, he had a red bracelet on his right wrist. I'm wearing mine. So that must mean he's very spiritual. Yeah.
Wow, I'm wearing mine. Oh, that's super cool.
What does yours
Yeah,
look like?
yours
Mine
is-
has like an eye on it. Mine has the third eye on it.
Oh, cool. Mine is different nuggets of red coral strung together.
Oh, beautiful. And what is the black, Kelly, what is the black thing? I have a little string, beautiful little one on my left, which is black string. What does that mean? What does that do?
That one is to repel negative energy. It's for protection. And the one on the right, that's the red, is to help ground us so that it also protects, because when you're grounded, then you're more able to have clarity and, you know,
Those are pretty.
have a release of mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's so cool that you're wearing yours too.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to
that's
say,
awesome. A while ago,
this
like
is a
2 weeks
fact
ago.
that I was going to tell you about Ronnie Dangerfield. You said you met him. Was he a nice guy?
Yes, he was nice, and it was after his show, so he was kind of worn out. He was in his silk robe, and I told my dad, I think he did this on purpose, and I'll tell you what he did. We walk in, and he had this beautiful, young, very glamorous, dressed up so beautifully wife, this beautiful, elegant blonde woman standing right behind him. So she didn't know what he was doing, and he had his robe just like open, okay, and he didn't have any underwear on. And he was just like hanging out, and I think he did it on purpose. Cause we all
Well, I'll
walked
tell you.
in.
Yeah, let me tell you.
And he did not
I'll tell you a
Oh,
sweet
my
story about him. I'll tell you a really sweet story about him. Right before he died, he lapsed into a coma. And you know how they say if someone's in a coma, you're supposed to talk to them to try to get them out?
Yeah.
Well, now you understand something. The big deal about Ronnie Dangerfield is that he gave a lot of comedians their break. A lot of comedians, they kind of owed the start of their careers to Ronnie Dangerfield. So what happened was that Ronnie's in the hospital. He's in a coma. All of the comedians who he gave the start to came in to see him in the hospital, and they did their acts for him.
Aww.
That's so nice.
And it was Yeah, and it was like Sam Kinison. Well, actually, no, Sam Kinison passed away, but it was like it was Andrew Dice Clay, and they would all do their act in hopes that he might have heard it and woke up. He didn't wake up, but it was like that was just what they did because he gave them all their start.
That's so cool.
Wow. Yeah.
What a legacy.
Yeah. Wow.
My favorite movie that he did was Back to School because I love the Sam Kinison part of him. Like, I mean, I think that he was so self-deprecating that it was hard to really, be offended by him. I mean, he would, like the other day there was a fire in my house, and then my wife says, "Be careful, you don't wake up Daddy."
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I think, I don't know if you ever told this on the air, Barbara, but when did you find out that you were famous?
Oh my goodness, Johnny, I don't even think like that. That's a crazy question. I mean, it's a nice question. I'm flattered by your question, but no, you did ask me that, I think, and that was when I was talking about the full Playboy experience. You really
It wasn't on the air when I
feel
asked you that.
something. Oh, really? You feel something when you're going to be coming out as your issue is going to come out, okay, on the newsstand.
Right.
The day that happens, somebody comes to your hometown, if you're still there, some representative from Playboy comes. So they flew out. I was living in Nashville, and they pick you up, and they have a whole morning schedule of all the morning radio shows. And you go on about 5 different radio shows. They pick you up in a limo. They take you to a nice coffee at the most beautiful hotel. Then you go through your plan, and then you start going, and you go on all of these radio shows. And I actually still have those tapes of those first shows. And then you are taken to the Tower Records. And then there's a long line around from the announcement that you've made on all of the morning shows. There's a long line waiting for you to sign the autograph, and they bring all of the beautiful 8x10s. You're sitting there. But that same day, this is when it really hit me, is when the newspaper was shoved under my door. You actually you don't even wake up in your own bed. That's why I remember the hotel. They have you spend the night at a hotel the night before, and they treat you so well, and you wake up in the morning, you're at the hotel in your hometown, and the newspaper goes under the door, and then you're on the front page of the living section, and because they had come out 2 weeks prior to do a whole photo shoot on you with whatever you did, and at that time I was a polo player, so they had me pictured on the front page of the Tennessean living section with my polo pony, Baldy, with my polo mallet in my hand. Oh my gosh, I look like a baby. And then there's some inserted photos of, your Playboy photos, of course, non-nude. And that's when it really hits you. I mean, when you're on the front page of the paper, of your local paper, and then when you're signing all those autographs and you see the line stretched around the building for you, that's kind of when you realize things are going to be different for me from now on. And they have been. So, yeah.
Wow. Because they didn't know who you were until you were published. I mean, published.
Now,
so in one day your life changes, Callie.
What?
It said in your IMDb
one day
that you're one of the most
changes.
famous. Yeah.
Wow.
I just saying I read in IMDb that you're one of the most famous playmates out there. That's what I've heard.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, some people take it and run with it like I did, and then they go on to modeling a lot. And there's some that just kind of go back to their hometown. They've done it for different reasons, and maybe they don't work it a lot. But I really enjoyed the whole Playboy thing. So I became one of their foreign spokesmodels and traveled the world for literally 7 years, traveling and promoting Playboy Home Video. And once you do a good job with that, then the other departments start hiring you. And now I've counted all my covers. I've done 15 covers. I forget about, I just found another one yesterday I posted. So, that is a lot. And I was in so many of those extra Playboy specials, newsstand specials. They had tons of those before everything turned digital. So that's cool to have. And there's always so much work because, especially when you're Miss December, because every Christmas revolves around the companies, outside companies who want a little extra something special for their company party where they're going to have somebody to sign autographs or something to make it extra special. They always want to have the Miss December, so I got even more work, and 2 more million copies are sold of Playboy every December. So it's called the Gala Christmas issue. I was lucky enough to be chosen for that. So thank you.
So what you're saying is it's actually ideal to be December?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's really cool. So when you were drawn, when you knew that you wanted to be in Playboy, was it for the glamour? Was it for the branding that they're known for? Was it for feeling sexy? Was it, to be more known? What was that really drew you?
All that, because I always wanted to excuse me, I always wanted to be a model. So growing up and not becoming super tall, I'm pretty much average 5'6", you're going to be doing more of the body conscious modeling, being the swim model, the poster model, calendar girl, pinup style, catalog model, all of those kinds of things. And if you are in Playboy, you are going to get chosen for all of those first. And sure enough, then I did the snap-on and the length feet. I was the poster girl for that. And then all the television shows, too, like Baywatch and Married with Children. They always call Playboy first for the new Playmate, and they want to book you more. And so it's just a big, huge foot in the door. It opens so many doors. And, I knew that it was going to change my life. I knew that that was one thing that was going to do it in this entertainment field for me. And I also I was really good in front of the camera, and I wanted to do that. I just loved being in front of the camera modeling. It just came pretty naturally. I loved photography. I loved creating a beautiful image. It was really something that never got boring to me. So that, and all of the above. I loved the glamour. I loved the style of it. I loved how it was classy. I loved showing the sensual side, but in a classy way. And I loved that it would reach more people in a very quick way. And so all of the above, really. And I never really thought much about the money, too. It's like, because the money just comes. It wasn't the money first and foremost. In fact, I met a girl who, on the Maui Playmate Challenge, a playmate who really didn't care about any of the things we just discussed. She only cared about the money because she was doing it for the sole purpose of paying off her school loans. And now she's a really, really successful architect out there, and she didn't even use her real name. So very rarely that happens where somebody is doing it for the money and they change their name. But that was definitely not the case for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. And and it is nice that it's, with the art perspective, it's not, it's, it can be looked at as erotic, but that's not like the focal point. The focal point is, there's a beautiful woman here, let's accentuate her beauty and let's accessorize, and it's like creating an entire scene, an entire fantasy, an entire, like you're stepping into something. that's really beautiful
Yeah.
and well thought out.
That's right.
Do you remember?
And
Do you remember who took your picture?
yes, I do. Stephen Wada shot my centerfold, and he shot many other things that I did as well. But I also loved Arnie Freytag because Arnie Freytag shot a lot of the other stuff, and plus the outside jobs like the Snap-on tool calendar and the Langsky poster that I mentioned. I was the model after Pamela Anderson. She did that, and so that was like a big deal. And the rigid tool calendar, that one goes all the way back to Raquel Welch.
Wow.
To one of the first rigid tool calendars. Yes, and the photographer I shot with for that, Peter, I can't remember his last name, but he was in his 80s when he shot me. I also shot with Helmut Newton for Playboy, Helmut Newton's Playboy Girls, and I'm in that coffee table book, which that was amazing because he's very well known. And it's a lot of yes. And so wonderful people like that. I think some of the playmates didn't even know what they were doing at times and who they were doing it with, and they were doing some very big time things and didn't even realize it. I just happened to realize this stuff because my dad and my brother were really into artistic photography, and they just go as they learn as they go. But I just relished all of that and knew what I was doing, and it was like you had to pinch yourself sometimes. I'm like, am I really doing this? Am I really in the studio with this photographer? And it was just all these different experiences were so amazing. So you take each experience. I could definitely write a chapter with each experience, chapter of a book.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Now, one thing I was wondering about it is, would you practice in front of the mirror to go, okay, this is a good angle, or things like that before you had your shoot?
I did that at an early age, yes, and I did do that. Mhm. And I had this thing burning inside of me, this dance passion, and this talent that I later unleashed with the dance. So I think I was pretty good with just movement and feeling free. Like I just kind of knew what would look good. And what is so crazy is that I've watched my daughter grow up, and she's like, I've taken pictures of her, and she just knew how to model. She's done some modeling when she was really young. She's not into it now, but she just knew how to move. She just knew how to pose without it looking cozy. And I thought, well, she just has it in her like that. And she's like, well, I've watched you, but I never even knew she was watching me. I don't think it is. I think it's just something that is like, I think you're born with it. Just like you have the talent with music. Yeah, you just kind of are born with it. You can learn it, though. You can learn it.
I think so.
Are born. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's like I had to practice in front of a mirror so I didn't feel like I had a goofy smile or it wasn't crooked, or the little self-conscious things that I had. But it's, I don't know, did you ever have nobody's perfect. You're probably as close to perfect as possible, but did you ever have any self-conscious thing like, I hope they don't get this angle, or I need to accentuate this, kind of a thing because, I want to draw attention away from that, or I want this to look bigger here. Did you ever have that kind of thing?
Not well. Oh, I can't say that I did. I felt like I had thin lips. I did, and but that makeup artist, she drew my lips so perfectly, you couldn't even tell. And now I just am glad. I'm glad that they are the shape that they are because I think they're fine now. So it's something that you think that you have when you're young, and then you realize, no, I'm fine. When I was in high school, in junior high and high school, I felt like my legs were skinny, and nothing changed really much about my legs. It's not like they got really curvy or anything. They still are pretty thin legs, but you put the high heels on the end of those legs and they look great. So I used to always wear sweatpants. I never wore shorts in junior high or high school because I always felt self-conscious about my legs, except for when I had to put my cheerleading skirt on. So, but I still felt like, ooh, I wish that I had like more filled out legs. But then I see people in high school now that maybe they got like maybe some saddlebags on there because, they were very womanly when they were really young. I was so girly. Now that I put a little bit of the woman into them, they're just still thin, and I never had to worry about them gaining weight, and I'm just glad. I'm happy about these, toothpick legs. I like them now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's super.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
Because Kelly, I'm telling you, when you're right before you're going to be doing Playboy, you work out so hard. You make sure there's no bad spots that you have to hide. I mean, you really work on that.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
Do you
I know
think?
I've been approached, when I was like, I kept getting like the Miss Teen USA things, compete Miss Teen USA, we noticed you, and I didn't do it. And then, like, when I was 18 and I was, traveling across the world, I'd been approached, for modeling, and they're like, yeah, we just need you to lose like 15 pounds. And I'm like, what? I've been anorexic before. I don't think that's a good idea. But,
oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was already in the ideal weight category. I mean, but, I think had I been taller, I don't know, I probably would not have been told that, but I just, I guess I was self-conscious and thought, well, they do this angle or that angle, and you don't know, like, if they're really representing who they say they are, and you don't know if, if it's human trafficking these days. So, yeah, it was kind of, like, scary and kind of a no for me. But I mean, you contacting them, you know who they are. They're not approaching you.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, when you're getting involved with something like that, how do you know that it is who they say they are? How do you know it's Playboy?
I don't know. You got to be careful, and because you have to remember, I did Playboy at 24. I started modeling at 19 or 20 years old. I was modeling for 4 years before, and there was some weirdos. There were photographers who felt like they owned me. When I started shooting with another photographer, they would get jealous. It was like a small town mentality with that I ran into until you get to LA, and it's just the norm that you're, out there doing what you want to do. People are like that, and they can get obsessed, and they can get weird, and things do happen. You have to check out. You try to use your agency as much as possible, but you are wanting to test shoot with a lot of different photographers, so you just try not to go out to remote locations with these people, and you have to let people know where you are and maybe get a couple of referrals and know that they're a good person, because it is dangerous. You have to be very careful. But I was going to say to Kelly, too bad you didn't know me back then, because I would have said, don't listen to those people. Because when I was in high school, I wanted to model too, and I had my dad take me in. And you know what? They were telling me that I could never model and I wasn't tall enough. Yeah, I did look a little different. I had a fatter face. But if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't have been where I am today. You had to believe in yourself. And too bad I wasn't standing right next to you saying, don't listen to them, let's go to the next place, Kelly, because you are so beautiful and your features are amazing. I'm looking at your pictures all the time, and I'm just amazed by your features. And I told you that yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Because I just looked up. Terry Lynn Doss was another playmate. She's 5'6". So
yes.
Yeah, they're not always tall. I mean.
Well, that's considered tall. I'm just saying that remember when I said I was in high school, I was always like 5'2", and then when I was 18 out of high school, I grew 3 inches.
Oh, wow. I'm 5'2".
Yeah. I know. So it doesn't even matter anyway. There's playmates who are So with Playboy, it doesn't matter because the thing I like about them, see, it's the playmates who are more of this average height like me with the more of the regular 36, 24, 36 approximately. That they're going to go out and they're going to be doing the catalogs because you have to be a certain dimension to fit into the clothes to make them. It's always one size they put on everybody, and they have to be about the same size. You're standing next to each other, this kind of thing. And those are the playmates who get really well known a lot of the times. Well, the other ones, they're chosen because just think about it. Men out there, this is a men's magazine first and foremost, and Hef was choosing, there is the type for every man. Some of them were fuller figured, some of them were little, some of them were flat, some of them were well endowed. So people are thinking, oh, the typical playmate. It's not typical. You look through Playboy, and there's different races, different sizes, different heights, and different everything. So I don't agree when people say, oh, well, I'm not the playmate type. There is not really the type. It's just, it's, young. That's one of the real types, young, and kind of like the girl next door where, hey, you look natural and then just get all made up so you look like completely different. So, but who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So that is an interesting fact right there that people, when they say, oh, well, I can't do Playboy, I don't have big enough breasts. That's ridiculous. Go take a look at the Playmate book, and that will be proven wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that was one thing is I was never very well endowed. And at one time I was a size 5 dress, but, with the hips and the waist, sometimes the top didn't fit right because I was too small, But, there are ways to enhance that, but, yeah.
Well, just think
Oh,
about
and I was
how
going to tell you.
What?
I was going to tell you about something else
Barbara?
that Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
maybe you can tell us about that after we're done talking about this.
What?
Okay.
Why is this turning into the Barbara Moore interview? I didn't know that was going to happen today.
I don't know. We just, I guess we just suddenly we find you very, very interesting. But
Yeah,
but actually,
but
also you might find this interesting fact. I had a lady on about a few years ago. This is one of the shows that I deleted, but she, and you're gonna love this because if we can find her, she would be good for the League of 50. Okay.
oh, cool.
What happened was that she her name was Kim Sill, and she's a mom. And then you're gonna love this. Okay, she and a bunch of her female friends decided to start a group because they loved their little chihuahuas. Okay, and the name of the group they started was D Cups for Teacups.
That's cute.
Because
cute.
they were all very endowed. So they basically decided to save, those little. They save little chihuahuas, and it's called D Cups for Teacups. Her name is Kim Sill.
That's cute.
And I wanted to have her back on because, it falls in line with League of 50,
Oh, yeah. Did you see I posted that little kitty cat that I saw somebody post and the owner died, and then this little kitty cat, which was such a great pet for this owner for so many years, is now lonely. And was it your post, Kelly? And then I put that everywhere on my. Oh, that was so sad because I love that kitty cat with the white on it and its little eyes, and it was so sad on the little shelf without a blanket. Oh, my goodness. I hope somebody adopts that kitty. And then they adopted the brother of the cat, and it's like, now it's really lonely. It doesn't even have a fellow kitty cat partner. I mean, that's not fair to the animal just because the owner dies, but now that cat has to be lonely, or the dog. I mean, I just fell in love with that little kitty cat. If I could, I would adopt that one myself.
Yeah,
but I can't.
And we're gonna have them on the show because they're different from others in that they do have the ones where the owners had to go to a nursing home or they have a terminal illness and, you know, they don't want to part with the animal, but they don't have a choice. And, you know, obviously if you're in that situation, you don't want to have to worry about, is my animal going to a shelter where it's going to get put down, because maybe the animal's an older one and it's not going to be the first to be adopted. And you don't want to have to worry about it, you know. So that's why they take those in particular, and or the ones where the owner died.
Oh, so you set that up if you know that you're going to be going into old folks home or the hospice or dying, you can arrange that for your animal ahead of time?
Yeah, isn't that great?
I love that. So great.
Me too.
So when are we going to have them on? I would love to have them on.
Oh, well, we're working on having them soon because, you know, I met them at Leela-Palooza, and, you know, I met them and another animal group, and I think that is just so important. And they are different that way in that they will only take, you know, animals in that situation. Because, you know, so many.
That.
Oh, me too. And, I mean, because that's, you know, it's called A Place for Paws Animal Rescue, and it's in Michigan. But it's just, you know, A Place for Paws Animal Rescue. And, I mean, they do a phenomenal job and then match people with animals for fostering or forever homes. And, you know, they're not into really taking the animals that somebody, you know, they had it and then they neglected it or they can't financially afford it, because there's so many agencies that will help them out, but there's such a need for maybe the older animal that, you know, their owner, you know, has medical conditions or is dying or has died, that those animals would, you know, probably not make it in the shelter because a lot of people want puppies and kittens. So,
I know, they do.
You know. So, yeah.
I mean, are they on the League of 50 now, or are they going, we're going to sign them up on that?
We're going to get them signed up on that. Yeah. Now, I was trying to figure out how to do a mission statement on there, but being that it's a group, it doesn't really seem to allow for having a place to do that. So what I
Didn't
did
Karen Page
was
suggest that, or
what?
The mission statement?
Oh, I don't think we need one now because, I mean, I can write one, but there's nowhere to post it unless it's just a regular post, and then it'll get buried by other posts. So what I did was in the rules, I made it that if you're asking for volunteers or for donations of money or things, that you must specify whether you. Just a minute, Jonathan. Okay, just a minute. That you must specify that you are a licensed 501(c)(3) or not, or if you're working on it. That way people will know that it's a legitimate 501(c)(3) that's registered, and then they will feel more comfortable in working with that one. Whereas if it's just, oh, I rescue animals, but they're not registered, then a lot of times people are hesitant because they don't know where the money's really going. So, but that way they have to specify if they're asking for any help.
That's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank goodness we have you who knows all about what they need and the requirements to make sure it's like legitimate. And yeah, I think this is great. I'm into this League of 50 now, especially after seeing that kitty cat. I love what.
Can I make my suggestion? Can I make my suggestion?
Sure.
Okay. Now, we have a website, right? Okay. Why not I think that doesn't the website have the ability to link to like another page, like a page where we put info on somewhere else?
Well, yes, because I put the link to Kelly's page for booking chakras, KarenPage.com to book her. Yes, I mean, you can put links all
what
over
I'm
the
saying
website.
Yeah, let me explain to you what I'm saying. Let's say that we put we put something on the website that says mission statement for League of 50, and then Kelly can put on the group a link that says, if you really want to know the mission statement for League of 50, go to this website and then scroll down.
Oh, yeah, we can add a page here, a page there, anything. It's pretty much up to 40 pages. Sure, we could do that, and I want to
So that
do
way
that.
you have your mission statement. What do you think of that, Kelly? And I'm sorry if I cut you off earlier.
I love that idea. I really do. I think that's
okay.
a great
That solves
one.
the problem. Okay, solves the
Yeah,
problem.
thank you. Yay! Yeah, I like it when we work together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's...
Oh, my God. Limitless. It's so
Yeah.
cool. It's so cool what we're doing for people and animals.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly, this was my idea, okay? And I've been really wanting to, I keep forgetting on every show. This is my idea, and it's very good. Why don't you be the animal psychic, and we choose a day for that?
Hey, yeah, that would be cool. I'd like that.
Okay. Yeah. You've been talking animals like that for years, since you were a little child, so it's a no-brainer. Why are we looking for one of those when we have one right here in the house? Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I just got chills.
Oh, that's really cool, because I was told I could do something like that. I just haven't done that, so, yeah, that is so cool. I will, that'll be interesting, because some people work with a photo and some people don't. I'm not sure how I would do that remotely. I mean, because I always do it like in person, but
how about
a picture?
Why don't you try?
Yeah.
Okay, let's test it out on my cat, Petal Rose, who has a problem, a pee problem, okay? She's so perfect in every way, but when we leave, she pees on the bed. I had to order another tarp so I could do the couch and the bed. So when I come home, there's not like 5 comforters and sheets and mattress pads that I have to wash when I get home, right? So,
yeah.
Because she's just mad. She doesn't want me to go, and, so she does that. So you can talk to her about it and tell me what she says, because I'll take her into the vet again. Maybe she has a bladder infection. That's always the first thing you need to check. But usually it is emotional, especially when she's doing it at a certain time, and she needs to be talked to. And I try to do it. I try to talk to her so calmly and sweet and explain I'll be back and, do the whole 9 yards with that. And she's still doing it. And I've only lived there a short time, and I've already had to change both. I had to change the bed 2 times. So, oh, my gosh. I get so old having to do that,
I have some ideas. So, yeah, we could definitely, do a show like that, because I was starting to get things, coming to mind. And, she was a rescue, wasn't she? Like adopted from like a shelter? Okay.
I adopted her from the big, well, not the shelter per se, but like there's a big, huge #1 pet cat and dog adoption per year, La Brea Tar Pits in LA. It's huge. It's a 2-day huge thing. They come from all around, many different places, and bring the pets to one spot. And Priscilla and I went, and so we don't really know what she endured her first 6 months of her life, but she did come from a hoarder house. The woman was a hoarder, cat hoarder, and the lady who was the rescuer was there, but she was deaf, so she couldn't really speak. So she didn't tell us much, just that. She came with a chip, and they get the shots and the first shots you need and all that. and you pay for that $125 and you go home with the cat. And I didn't get a cat that was a kitten. I didn't, have that stipulation on that. There was plenty of kittens around. I wanted just the cat that I had this feeling for, and I told Priscilla, you'll know when you see it. When you look into their eyes, you'll feel something. And sure enough, we felt something so much with Petal Rose. And she was skinny, skin and bones when we got her. And she's the most loving cat ever. She just has a pee problem, that's all.
Well, what I'm sensing from her is that she really didn't get very much attention. I mean, she definitely had no one-on-one attention before she met you guys, and she knew right away that she wanted to go home with you. She could tell that she would do that. Yeah. And so what's going on is when that lady that she had been with before would leave, she didn't know for how long. And she already had to compete for resources anyways, and she didn't know when the next time was she was going to get fed, and she would get nervous, and she'd have to mark her territory because otherwise other cats would try to basically trample over her and she wouldn't be able to get to food. So when she sees you guys leaving, she's panicking. And if you explain to her that you'll be gone, but you're going to such and such, and you're going to be okay, and, you're going to be back before sunset, or you're going to be back after sunset but before sunrise, because that's how or like 2 sunrises from now, or whatever. Because that's how they can judge time. And that would make more sense for her. And then
that
she
totally makes sense.
Yeah, because that way she knows when to expect that you will be back. Where before it was big panic, we don't know if or when this lady's ever coming back. And, the food runs out, then what?
That's true. And I think that if I'm sleeping in too late and she comes and she's even peed near me when I'm sleeping, I'm like, well, why did she do that? And I'm taking it personally. But no, it's probably because her belly is empty and she's hungry and she's like saying, hey, feed me. And she's panicking then too, like, are you going to feed me? Are you going to feed me? And that's why the treats work so well in between the meals too, because she does not like to be hungry.
Oh, no,
You're
because
right.
she was hungry way too much before. And it's like this guttural panic because, it goes, down to the most basic level of all of a sudden, all of this, like, feeling like the rug's being pulled out from under you and you don't know what's going on or how it's going to get better or when, if it will, or if somebody just left you. So, I would still get her checked at the vet to make sure there's not like an infection too, but yeah, this is behavioral. She's trying to exert some sort of feeling of having control over the situation.
Okay. See? Wow. Thank you. I mean, even just like
You're welcome.
even if I was doing a lot of that, but still not communicating well enough, and then maybe you could even communicate over the phone with her too when she hears your voice, that makes me feel better. And you know what? I'm getting chills, and that means the angels are around. And I got chills when I said you should do this, be the animal psychic on the show, because, I mean, that's telling us something when you get chills. What is it telling you? What is it telling you, Kelly? It's telling you that the angels, the spirits are around.
Yep, they're saying you are spot on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get chills too, Johnny?
This is exciting.
Yeah, I know. Another breakthrough,
Wow.
I'd say.
Yes, we have a lot of breakthroughs here, don't we?
Is that okay with you, Johnny? No, we're supposed to run everything by every. That she will have her animal psychic day on the show, like Who knows?
Yeah.
Like every week or every other week, whatever you decide. You guys decide.
Well, do you want to try
I'm-
this Saturday? Do you want to try this Saturday?
Yeah. Oh, that would be
Okay.
great. Let's do that.
Oh, actually, no, we can't do the Saturday because the Saturday is already taken. I'm talking Saturday the 24th.
The 24th. What is that? The following Saturday? What is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay.
And okay.
Great.
Wow.
And
then
so
we
can
can put that on.
we do mine? Even though you just gave my cat a reading, can we just do it when I'm home with her? I'll be home, and then I'll put it on speaker and she can hear you. And then also we can have callers or whoever has a problem with their animal, and they could call in and send pictures, and you can figure out what you need.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Because, I know she's not doing it, like, to be spiteful or malicious. It's like that's the only way that she can assert herself that she knows of and to let you know how she's feeling about it. And she knows you're upset by it, and she's not trying to upset you, but it's the only way that she knows how to try to communicate this. So
Yes. Oh, you know what, Kelly? I just thought of something too. I promised that I don't know if it's that weekend or the weekend after, but we might as well just do it that weekend. I promised Priscilla to get her a bird. We've got everything ready for the bird, and we're really going to need you because you're going to have a good talk with Petal Rose about the bird, and you're going to make it to be a nice thing, like that's her little companion instead of, oh no, I'm going to have to share my time with this bird. And a bird came and landed on your finger, a wild bird when you were little, so I think you have a big bird connection. So you could talk to the bird and Petal about the new, adjustments that they're going to both go through.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that. I really do. Yeah, because
great.
She is going to be jealous because, like before with the animal hoarder, she had to worry about, competing for everything. And now she's going to be, it's sort of like some animals when you bring home the new baby, like when I've heard when my parents brought me home, the cat looked at them like, when is this thing going to go home?
Yeah. I know, the animals too.
Yeah. So the cat was not thrilled. And then, I have really early memories of being a toddler and the cat just being out of reach on the couch, kind of missed at me, kind of flipping its tail like, get this child away from me, and I'm trying to grab at it, really not helping the situation. But, Benji knew what he was doing, just out of reach, taunting me.
That's hilarious. They do. And because they see, everybody's doting on this new thing, less time for them.
Yeah,
okay, well, this is so exciting.
It is. Oh, my gosh. This is going to be really cool, and it's going to be here so that everybody can be in the experience with us. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Well, totally. It's just the way it should be, and it makes complete sense.
Yes.
When you were telling me about when we were interviewing you, we were interviewing you a couple days ago. I was like, what are we thinking? We have our animal psychic right here. Hello, people.
Yeah, it's a new way of expanding it for me because, I don't know, it's just I have not really done that too much for other people's animals, but obviously it's working. So, okay, sure, let's do this. Let's try it out,
Awesome. Yeah.
We can expand on it. Yeah,
definitely.
I'll go to, like, the reptile show, and I'll see rescues, and I'll communicate with them without necessarily having to say anything. And it's just, yeah, it's really weird. Or sometimes I will, say it out loud, but I just realized, like, within the last week or so, that I will pose a question or I'll say their name in my head, and it's funny when they turn to look at me, like, what? And I'm like,
wow.
I didn't even say it. Yeah. So it's
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That is so amazing. And not only that, but with our listeners, I've noticed that sometimes these days means more to them. They get more emotional than if it were with people.
Yeah.
Their animals mean more to them than people if they've got some kind of an issue with their pet. And when they can get help for that, it means so much more to them than helping themselves or helping them with another relationship issue with a human.
That's true. And, it's, for me, it's natural to be that connected with animals. And, I'm really close with, my close-knit group. And if I go, like, this is so weird, like, there are certain activities now that I'm more sensitive that, like I was with Brian and we went to Aldi's and it was a Saturday and it felt like a, just a big commotion with a lot of people, and you have some rowdy kids and you've got a crying baby and you've got, people rushing, and then you've got the ones poking around looking at every little thing, and some people are plugging the aisle, and then they've got, like, the checkout lanes are insane. And I had to really super rein in, like, almost like an anxiety, because I was picking up on everybody's thing, and I was really trying not to. And it was just overwhelming. And it was like, it was pretty wow. And I'm like, I kind of want to get out of here. But,
so much going on in your head, so many voices.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, this person over here is angry. This one's upset with their spouse. This one's over here. It's just like, I'm trying not to notice, but it's just all these different emotions of all these people, and it was just so much. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm trying not to pry into what they're upset about or whatever. So it's like, okay, well, we have this kid upset because they're not getting this put in the cart, and then this one is upset just being here, and then we've got, it's just like,
Yes. Oh, I know. Yeah. And just being a regular human and observing all that can drive you crazy, let alone all the voices in your head that you hear.
Well, it's not really voices. It's like more like impressions of, like, their emotion. Like, it feels like, washing over you, and then all of a sudden there's 20 people's emotions, and it's not really voices or talking as much as it feels like you're in a crowded room with a bunch of different emotions coming at you, like,
wow.
And the emotions, yeah, whoa,
See, that's what I always wonder and want to know, and being around the psychics and hearing, I forget sometimes what I really am interested in, and it's that kind of thing. I want to know, what do you feel? What do you hear? Can you describe it? It's so interesting to me. And people then start focusing so much on wanting to know what is happening or what their future beholds or all of this, and then I got caught up in that. But I like this stuff to find out, like, how you guys tick.
Well, see, it's different for each one of us because some people, they hear the voices. Some people, they see things more visually. Some people, they pick up on the emotions, and some people pick up on the thoughts more. And I'm not exactly sure what I do. I know that I'm really big on picking up emotions, and I can pick up on thoughts, feelings, motivations, if this person has a lot of ego, if, you know, if they are of a higher or a lower vibrational frequency, because I'm sensitive to energy. And, you know, so I pick up on these things. Plus, you know, oftentimes I get like these mental pictures that just, you know, flash in my mind. So, you know, it's like all these different things happening at the same time. Like when I was reading Petal Rose just a few minutes ago, I could visualize her. I could visualize the bed. I could visualize what chaos it was like back in that house, and, you know, the emotional struggle she was going through. And, you know, so, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different things. And some people are, like, really super good with one thing. You know, maybe they're really good at picking up, you know, in one or two ways. And some people, they can in a few different ways, but they're really strong in, like, these two. And I'm still trying to figure out what, you know, my stronger ways are, but I just kind of let it do its thing. And then, you know, it's like I get these impressions, you know, with the emotion that I'm getting from this. Like when I do the chakra healing, and I'm going into each one, and I'm finding, like, memories that are lodged in there, or traumatic events, or emotions that are attached. Sometimes I get visuals, too, or, you know, just, like, messages from the higher self and spirit and God. And so it's just kind of, like, you know, it's almost indiscernible, like, exactly what things are coming to me, because it all comes to me at once. And, you know, if I step back from it and kind of analyze, okay, well, I had visuals, I had, you know, I was able to hear, I was able to feel, I was able to get to thought processes, you know, so I can narrow it down that way. But when it's coming to me, I'm not sitting there labeling, okay, this is an emotion, this is, you know, it's just all at once. So it's interesting for me to step back and break it down.
That's wonderful. Well, it's interesting to me to hear all of that.
Well,
so this is awesome. And then you'll be able to really fine-tune it even more by doing this regularly.
Yeah, and I might even be able to do mediumship, because I've done that before.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We're about out of time.
No, Johnny's trying to say something. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I was thinking that too, though, really quickly, Kelly, that you would be able to help people that have lost a pet as well in the medium.
You would.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Have a good one, everybody, and thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Have a great
See you
night.
tomorrow. Good night.